Yo guys, welcome back to another video, and I just recorded my first video literally like 5 minutes ago, so I thought I'd go ahead and make a second one. So in this video we're going to be talking about balance and why it's so important to have balance. Now, we live in a society where we think good, good is the thing we need to look up to, and evil, just, get it away, get bad away from me. But the reality is, we live in a world where good and evil coexist with each other. Even in nature, there's tornadoes, volcanoes, hurricanes. Like, for example, a pine cone of a tree, in order for it to start sprouting the seeds, what happens is that it essentially there's a forest fire, right? And then the fire, wreaks havoc across all these plants and wildfires and this and that, right? After the fire's gone, well, actually the fire activates the pine cone so that it can drop the leaves. So without that chaos, the good of the plant could not emerge. Even though there's chaos, the fire goes across the forest, devastates all the plants. A new life emerges. New plants emerge. This is the kind of cycle of life. Cycles are very important when it comes to balance, because in order to become balanced, you need to go on to a new cycle. And see the in a lot of Chinese Oriental cultures, for example, Chinese culture, like in they talk about yin and yang, right? In Japan, China, Thailand, a lot of these cultures, what I like about it is that they always talk about they have a nice culture, and they talk about balance. Now, specifically in the Chinese culture, they talk about yin and yang, right? And it's this kind of symbol, right? It's a circle, and it's got like a little teardrop, right? And what that represents is that although there is good in life, and good, we do like it, it's pleasurable, there is also bad. And bad is not exactly something that we could just toss aside and ignore. The fact is that bad exists in life, and we all have an evil inside of us. Not to say we just let it out. That's not, the balance means that the good and the evil flow within each other. Sometimes we have to have some kind of evil within us, which is, kind of like the male and female energies, which I'll talk about in another video, but like that. So the evil is essentially when we're aggressive, we're violent, we have these tendencies of wanting to inflict pain upon others. Sometimes this evil is not so bad, but as long as you keep the balance in check. Because sometimes when someone wants to just use you, abuse you, sometimes you gotta let that evil out and kind of counteract what that person's toxic energy is putting towards you. So for example, um, let's just say someone, just keeps picking on you and keep telling you the same thing. Sometimes you got to stand up for yourself, because if you're always trying to be the nice guy, do the right thing, be the nice guy, not cause conflict, that's good, but there's a limit. You have to sometimes be the bad guy every once in a while, in order to set your limits, put your bubble, put your wall in front of you. So for example, if you guys have watched Kung Fu Panda, they do talk about yin and yang a lot, which is, to me, is one of the most important parts of life that there is in spirituality. There cannot be good without evil, because if you cannot enjoy a warm fire if it's not cold. If there's no evil, and I call it evil because sometimes evil can be good. Um, Sometimes, what I mean by this is that good can come from evil. But if everything in life was good, then it's just pleasure, it's just comfort, right? That's, I feel like the problem is, we're too imbalanced in life. We either want everything good, And then when we either want everything good and good in life, and then when there's evil, we just toss it aside. It doesn't exist. Problems don't exist. I don't have any problems. I don't need to worry about it. I'll just watch TV, watch Netflix, get away from this. That's the issue. We're getting away from our issues because we think that problems are bad. When problems, they're bad at the moment, but when you look back and think, okay, I'm glad I had this problem because now I'm able to confront it in a healthy manner. So good and evil are not bad necessarily. I mean, good and evil are balanced. So bad is not necessarily such an omen. That's how people see it. Bad is like, get it out of here. I don't need it. It's not worth my time. So what happens here is, for example, in Disney movies, right? The princess is stuck in the tower. Classic Disney movies, as opposed to the recent ones. The Disney movies, the princess stuck in the tower. Prince comes and get him. Everything's fine and dandy. They kiss. They marry the same day or whatever. It's like, it kind of gets you out of reality. It kind of puts you in this false fantasy that that's how life is. That's not how life is. Life isn't just someone's gonna save you. What the Disney movies don't teach you is that you can save yourself. It is possible for you to save yourself. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I mean by balance. It's about good and bad. What I like about movies like Kung Fu Panda, for example, it teaches you how to deal with trauma, with issues of your past, how to confront your issues, how to deal with your energy. Tai Chi movement. Avatar: The Last Airbender is a good cartoon in Nickelodeon. They teach you about balance. They teach you about energy that flows through your body. And for example, in order to redirect lightning in the show, he kind of gets lightning from this side, does a Tai Chi movement, and flings that out this side. So he balances the energy inside of him and releases it somewhere else. So that's essentially what we do as spiritual people when we talk to people that are toxic. It's not easy. It's not always easy. I have issues dealing with toxic people sometimes, but I'm getting better at it. But I still have issues dealing with toxic people. What we do is someone toxic talks to us, right? And if we're aware of it, that they're being toxic, what we do is in one ear, out the other. We do not let this energy affect us. And if we do, we know that something's up. But a person who just doesn't really care about their issues is not going to realize that there's a problem or even care. A lot of times when you're spiritual, you care about yourself, you care about others. And more often than not, you care about others to a point where it's a bit excessive. So we need to be sentimental, yes, but we also need to protect our energy and put barriers and not give our positive energy to just anyone. If someone is going to be toxic, and you give them your positive energy, there's no use, because they're just going to get your positive energy, turn it into something toxic, and then give it back to you. It's like someone gives you give someone a love letter, right? They crumple it up, fill it with poison, and just give it back to you. That's exactly what's going on. So that's why we need balance in our lives. We can't always be good people, and that's okay. We don't always have to be good people, but we do have to try to balance our energy. We cannot let ourselves be too nice or too rude all the time. There's a balance. Balance is key with these energies.